Hello and welcome to day 23 of 25 days of Christmas comics. I am your host, the Dude Without Fear. I appreciate you tuning in to today's episode. I love this story that we're going to be talking about tonight. I only just discovered it a little while ago when doing my research for this series, and I liked it so much that I was like, I gotta include this in 25 Days of Christmas Comics. So tonight's story is Sergeant Rock number 350 in a story called Home for Christmas. And one of the things that I love most about this comic is this beautiful cover by Joe Kubert. The legendary Joe Kubert. And just this American soldier hiding behind this snowman. It's just, I love this cover so much. And to my knowledge, I don't know that I own any other Joe Kubert covers. And this one, man, it is beautiful. I love it. So, our story starts. It was the night before Christmas, and it was so quiet. You could hear the Krauts yanking the pins of their potato mashers. Duck deep, easy. And then you see all these explosions. Snow still falling as here comes Santa Claus with TNT for your stockings, Easy. Open up. Easy Company, which is the troop that Sergeant Rock is with, are shooting all these Nazi soldiers. And Sergeant Rock yells, "Back in your foxhole, Lonesome. We don't have enough guys as it is without you playing John Wayne." And Lonesome, one of the soldiers in Easy Company, is chucking grenades out of his foxhole. And he says, "Oh, Sarge, I can't toss these potatoes lest I get some elbow room." And he takes out four Nazi soldiers with that grenade. And Sergeant Rock says, "You've got the best pitching arm in Easy, Lonesome, but if you don't stay down, they'll blast your head off." And it says the enemy were real pros. They walked over their dead. They kept on coming past our exploding grenades. They jumped in our foxholes, and Easy had to fight them hand to hand to the death. The enemy kept coming till dawn, till the snow stopped falling, till none of them were left, and the silence was so thick you could cut it with a bayonet. A dead man's eyes should be shut, Sergeant Rock thinks as he closes the eyes of an enemy soldier. He yells, "Sound off, Easy." Roll call left Easy Company with one man short. One of the men says, "Lonesome took off, Rock." Another one says, "He went over the hill." Another one, "AWOL." And Sergeant Rock says, "Lonesome? Something must have happened. He wouldn't just walk out on Easy. I gotta bring Lonesome back before the MPs grab him, or he'll face a firing squad for desertion in the face of the enemy." Says, "We're holding the thinnest point of the line. The Krauts are sure to hit us again. Take over, Bulldozer." Says, "You got it, Rock." Sergeant Rock walks off. He says, "I gotta bring Lonesome back." And then he remembers when Lonesome first joined Easy. We see Lonesome showing off some pictures of his family. He says, "This here's my family, Sarge, back on the farm in Salinas, Kansas." He says, "That's my mom and pop, my sisters Aggie and Bella, and me." Gotta get on with the war so I can get back to my family, Sarge. They need me for the harvesting. Every hand counts on a farm. Says Lonesome shared the family with everyone in Easy. His family was in every foxhole Lonesome set up housekeeping in. And it shows Lonesome in a foxhole looking at a picture, and he says, I'll be home by Christmas. Says Lonesome was quick, but the war was slow. A few more shots like that, Lonesome, and you'll end the war all by yourself. Lonesome destroying a tank with a bazooka. Says, but the war wasn't going to be over. We moved from North Africa to Sicily. The war moved from Sicily to Italy, and Easy Company went with it by way of LCI taking us to Anzio. Says Easy Company went from Anzio to the hills of Italy on the road north to Rome. Lonesome says to Sergeant Rock, Sarge, this war is going to last forever. Sarge says, don't think about it, Lonesome. You know what they say about watching a pot. Seems to take forever to boil. Then we were holding the thinnest point in the line when this snow began to fall. I'd lost track of days, but Lonesome didn't. And then we get back to where our story started. So now I was on Lonesome's trail to keep from having him shot as a deserter. And Sarge is walking through a forest, and he says this kid was just lonesome for his family. Probably didn't know what he was doing. And then he sees some MPs coming through the forest. And they're in a Jeep, and the Jeep hits a mine and blows up. Some enemy soldiers come out to go check it, and Sarge sees them and he shoots them down. And he says, this is one time the bushwhackers got bushwhacked. I wonder what those enemy paratroopers were doing back here. He says, I knew I was racing against time before Lonesome went beyond the point of no return. And Sergeant Rock comes to a farmhouse. And he says, he thinks to himself, maybe someone in that farmhouse saw Lonesome. And when I looked through the window, and then Sergeant Rock looks in through the window, and he thinks, for crying out loud, if this ain't one for the book. And inside, with this family of a husband, his wife, and their 4 children, Lonesome is helping them decorate their Christmas tree. And Sergeant Rock opens the door, and Lonesome says, Sarge, how'd you find me? Says, I was looking for the only GI on the lam crazy enough to stop to trim a Christmas tree. And the lady of the house says, come join us. This is the season of peace. She says, eat, Sargentino, or the baby will start to cry. And Lonesome says, it's just like being with my family in Kansas, Sarge. And Rock says, if you ever want to see your folks again, Lonesome, get your gear back to Easy before you face a firing squad for desertion in the face of the enemy. Before Lonesome could come up with an answer, a bullet hits the wall. And Lonesome grabs his helmet and his gun and runs out the door. And he says, stay with the family, Sarge. I'm going outside to see who fired that burst. And Sarge hands the baby back to its mama and says, here, Mama, you take care of this Bambina. I'm going to help that GI Bambino outside. We get outside and we see a tank coming over the hill, shooting at the house and the soldiers. And Rock yells, stay down, Lonesome, or that tiger is going to send you home in a lump. And Lonesome says, we got to stop him, Sarge. He'll roll right over the farmhouse and everyone in it. And the tank fires a blast at them. They hit the dirt. We only got one chance. Take off to the tank's opposite side and plant some grenades. I'll keep them busy topside. Stay under their gun slits so they can't see you. So Sarge and Lonesome both run towards the tank. Rock says, I mounted the Tiger's turret and stuck my Thompson into a view slit. Shows him firing it off. while Lonesome fed boiling eggs, that's grenades, into the tank's interior. Lonesome jumps off the tank and the grenades go off, and he doesn't see Sarge jump off the tank, and he yells, "Sarge!" And Sarge stands up and waves, says, "I'm okay, Lonesome. Just singed my crew cut. This baby could have ambushed the outfit from the rear, and the combat happy Joes would have never known what hit them." Says minutes later, Lonesome and me were heading back to Easy Company, and the family's saying goodbye and Merry Christmas, and Lonesome and Rock do the same. And then they get back to Easy Company, and they're like, "Where'd you go, Lonesome?" And Rock said he only took a look around to get some Christmas presents for his buddies. Right, Lonesome? He says, "Right, Sarge." And he's handing out bread and food that the family gave him to give. And says Lonesome and me took up housekeeping together, which is sitting in a foxhole. And Rock says that G.I.'s home is his foxhole till the war ends. Right, Lonesome? Right, Sarge. So, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. And while most of us will be with our families, enjoying that special time, laughing and being joyful and cheerful and just enjoying each other's company, there are many men and women out there protecting us here in our country, in America, that won't have that privilege, that won't have that ability to be with their families. They will be thousands of miles away, and they won't be home for Christmas. And so while you are with your families, remember those that can't be. Not only remember those that won't be home for Christmas because they're out protecting us, but remember those that will never be home for Christmas again because they paid that ultimate sacrifice. Remember their families. So I'm thankful that I get to be with my family. And I hope that you're thankful that you get to be with yours, if you are. And I'm thankful to you for watching. And that's all I have for tonight. I will see you tomorrow, Christmas Eve. It's almost here. Christmas is almost here. Thank you. Good night. God bless.